Mexican lager is a bright spot in a challenging beer sector right now. My name is Nate. I am the co-founder and head brewer at Treehouse Brewing Company located in central Massachusetts. I'm going to try these beers, I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to let you know what I think. I'm sorry. Alright guys, so if you're new here to the channel, we've been making a lot of content showing you behind the scenes of our craft brewery here, letting you know what makes us tick, letting you know how we think about making our beer, and sharing the stories of the people and the things behind it. Michael and I decided on a Friday afternoon we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to try some Mexican lager. I'm going to let you know what I think. I'm going to pick my favorite. I'm going to comment on what I like and don't like about these beers. So this is not only fun, but it'll be functional for us. Here at Treehouse, whenever I and the team design a new beer, we do our market research. So we don't jump into anything sight unseen. We like to know what's out there on the market. We like to learn about the history of certain beers, and we like to apply that to our own practices. So at this time, we are working on developing our own Mexican style lager, and what better way to learn about and try the ones that I have in front of me. Now, Michael has made this little contraption that has each beer. You guys can see it. I can't. He's poured them blindly. I'm just going to try them, comment on them. One thing I will say is no, extreme or harsh judgment from me or Treehouse on these beers. I know that I'm a fan of at least one of the beers in this lineup, and I've drank it a lot. There's a time and a place for beautiful, well-crafted light lager. Let's dive right into it. All right, so first things first, observationally, this is the darkest of the bunch, and I'm not sure that could be a function of oxidation, or that could be a function of just the decision that the brewers made to have it be a little bit sweeter and with a little bit more caramel and malty characteristic in the background. Ooh, I'm not in love with this on the aroma. There's a little bit of apple character. In brewing terminology, we call it acetaldehyde. It's a little bit, in light lager, it can be prevalent, and here it's kind of overwhelming. This almost smells like hard cider. Kind of funky, got some skunky notes going on as well. You never know based on the aroma alone whether or not you're going to enjoy a beer. All right, yeah, I'm not digging on that. That's definitely a bit oxidized, definitely a bit too sweet for my taste. Doesn't really have any hop character to speak of. It's got a little bit of astringency on the backside. Making our way down the line here. This guy is nice. It's got a really crisp straw yellow. Based on the way that it clings to the side of the glass, I can tell you that it's probably a touch drier than the one that I just tried. Oh, that's nice. Pretty clean on the aroma. A tiny bit of noble hop character, not too much pungency, but just enough to let you know that it's there. Ooh. It's interesting. It's like floral and minerally. It's like almost chalky in a sense. That's fascinating. That's not at all what I expected. Moving on to the third guy of the bunch here. This one I actually pick up a little bit of dimethyl sulfide, a little bit of like cream corn characteristic. It's good. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit crisp, decently well-rounded. I like it, I don't love it. If I go back to the second one here, in thinking about these three in comparison, the mouthfeel of this one I actually really like. It's got a crispness about it that the other two didn't have. So drinkability-wise, this one's pretty high on my list. The flavor is just a bit strange to me, so I want to come back to it. Number 4 here. It's nice. Should I get some sulfur out of this beer? No signs of oxidation. The mouthfeel, body, and texture is really nice. But again, it's exhibiting off flavors that are not hitting my palate well. Moving on to the last Mexican lager sample. Whoa, that is probably Corona. Smells skunky. Tastes good. Honestly, flavor-wise, crisp, dry, very little hop character. Definitely skunky. Probably Corona.
Out of these 5, which one is your favorite?
So a couple things. As I was tasting those, with the exception of this guy, just because it struck me as light struck, I wasn't trying to guess which one was which. So I might have to just go through them again really quickly. In terms of what my favorite was, this is really, really hard to pick. I think that there was a lot of storage issues with all of these beers, and my gut tells me that the one that I like the most is probably number 2, even though it has the most interesting flavor profile and minerality to it. It struck me as the most well-crafted without any additional off flavors or characteristics. In terms of what I think that they are, I honestly don't know. I will say as a consumer of Mexican lager, the only beer that I typically gravitate toward is Modelo. I don't know the flavor profile well enough to guess which one it is, but I'll do my best. I think this is Dos Equis. Moving on from there, I would guess this was Corona just because it was light struck, but that said, I don't know because other Mexican lagers are put in clear bottles also. I just know that outside Corona taste tasted like this guy. In terms of these 3, I'm really throwing mud at the wall. I'm not sure. I think this is Pacifico. I think this is Tecate, and I think this is Modelo.
2 out of 5 correct. Which ones do you think you got correct?
These 2.
Nope. Tecate and Corona.
Tecate and Corona.
Modelo, Dos Equis, Pacifico.
This is Dos Equis.
Yep.
In terms of the way that I would use this exercise to craft our own beer, instantly, again, the thing that I like most about the beer that I picked as the favorite, and probably my second favorite, the Pacifico, is a certain sort of dryness and the lack of off flavors. So really focusing on fermentation quality, packaging quality, sort of after packaging, handling of the beer prior to our customers getting their hands on it. I would craft a beer in the vein of either one of these 2 with a pronounced dryness, trying to sort of minimize the amount of cream corn or corn/malt sweetness. I'd probably boost the noble hop character just a little bit without falling outside of style. But for me, the problem with all of these beers is that they lack any sort of bitterness on the back and any sort of hop complexity that increases your thirst and makes you desire that next sip. So for us, we would probably dial up the IBUs between 3 to 4. I'm not talking about turning these into bitter bombs. I'm saying just add a little bit of hop character that would make it slightly more drinkable and increase the dryness while eschewing any sort of overtly caramelly or crystal malts. All right, there it is. Blindness can eliminate a lot of biases, and this was interesting for me. Like I said, I thought that I would pick Modelo, so again, Dos Equis wins the day. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're not already a subscriber here to the channel, we're doing our best to share the stories, people, energy, and things behind Treehouse Brewing Company and what we think make it great. Take care.